How can a company leverage data and analytics to improve the sales process?
We actually just stopped running Facebook ads recently. Facebook gives you a bunch of data, but it doesn't give you the full picture. We were getting a lot of leads. We spent about $10,000 on, I think it was about 105 leads, which, in today's market and for the price point of a roof job is not terrible. It's like $90 a lead or something like that. Well, to the untrained eye, that sounds like a good deal. So what we did was we cross-referenced every single Facebook lead, name, phone number, email, whatever we had from that lead. We cross-referenced that in ProLine and saw where that customer, the stage they made it to, if they received a quote, if they were where they were at in our CRM. What we found was, I want to say it was four out of all of those customers, four booked an appointment for an inspection. We never sold a single one. So we spent $10,000 at what we thought we were paying $90 a lead for. We were paying $10,000 for four inspections, is what that amounted to. You really, really got to not just take for granted that whatever marketing tool you're using is giving you all the information. Yeah, they were leads. I would tell you 30 of them were probably just spam. Like they weren't even real people. And when you looked at their email versus their name versus they're like, yeah, there's no way this is a real person. So you got to track that stuff. Now, here's the other catch to that is there's a lot of really great advertising methods that have, in my opinion, no real solid way to get data or analytics from, like billboards. We run billboard campaigns in all of our markets. We run radio campaigns in all of our markets. There's almost no good way to get significant data from that. We ask every customer, where'd you hear from us? Or where'd you hear about us first? What was the interaction that made you call us? Nobody ever says the radio. We go on the radio for 2 weeks, off for 2 weeks. We literally will watch our call volume spike as soon as we go back on the radio. So we know that it has effect. Like we know it does. There's no denying it because as soon as we go off, our call volume drops. But there's no real analytics to track that because everybody says it's from Google because they hear about us so much and then they search us on Google and dial us from there. So it's very seldom we get somebody to say, "Oh, I heard about you on the radio." It happens, but it's not accurate.
Yeah. obviously you have the inspection before you quote the roof, but do you guys also
Right.
do inspections before and after the job as well? Do you do other inspections throughout the process, or is it just the first
Yeah.
inspection? How does that work for you guys?
It's an ongoing inspection. So our process from when we do our first inspection is we show up, we've already got a quote built for the customer. We've pulled an aerial report or generated our own. We've built a quote. We go do an inspection. We meet with the customer, make sure that, there wasn't something that changed or they wanted to add a vent or do this, or, make sure there's nothing that come up. We go verify our quote is good or edit to suit the customer. We print the quote, email the quote, hand the customer the printed copy, go through it with them to explain what they're getting charged. But if they sign right then, or wherever, as soon as we start the job, there's pictures being taken. We set a catch-all up on every project. The first pictures my guys are required to take are of the catch-all being set up because that just forces them to set it up because they hate setting it up. They don't hate it, but you know how labor guys are. Labor guys want to, get their job done. I want the ground kept clean. So it forces their hand to set that up. So, and then they take pictures through the entire job. So we have full inspection report of the progress. And then when it's done, either that evening or the very next day, we do a final inspection of whatever the finished product is. And then we give the customer, all the photo documentation of what it looks like. We don't take our eyes off of, the job site from start to finish. We document all of it and make sure that everything's done the way it's supposed to be done.
Does that also happen at the end of the job as well? Do you do like walkarounds with the customer, or how do you handle after job inspections?
The final, because we take no deposits, right? So the final is done. The goal is to do it with the homeowner. And the reason we do that is we can walk around the ground. If there's damaged flower, anything that could be addressed while we're there, or a bent gutter, any complaints that could be brought up. They can be brought up at that time and then we can fix it. We also do that because we want paid. It's not a tail light warranty. We did the entire job for you at no expense to you. And our contract says it's paid at completion. So we try to schedule our final inspection with the homeowner being home to where we can walk through it. They say it looks great, no complaints, hand us a check, we move on. Now, if they find something that's wrong, sure, it happens, a callback, but that eliminates a lot of callbacks is we're walking it together looking for any issues. But there's always times where we damaged a downspout that didn't get caught in the walkthrough. It was behind a shrub or something or whatever. We knocked it loose with a ladder at some point. Nobody fixed it. There's little things like that just happen and don't get caught on that. But 95% of the time, anything that was an issue was caught.